My friend, what I have discovered in the last few hours could completely change the fate of the Buffalo Bills, and I guarantee you are not prepared for this. On one hand, an absolutely irresistible opportunity is opening up in the market, and it involves one of the most explosive wide receivers in the NFL. On the other hand, the situation of our franchise quarterback is much more serious than it seemed on the broadcast, and only now are the behind-the-scenes details starting to leak. And before all this hits the big news outlets, I need to tell you, there's a silent, strategic, and highly risky move being discussed within Buffalo, and it has a name, weight, and immediate impact on the offense. But before revealing every detail, leave a like and subscribe, because what I'm going to show you today will stir the heart of any Bills fan. This is big, something that could define the next season, and it's going to get hot now. The Buffalo Bills enter 2025 facing a truth that can no longer be ignored. Josh Allen is leading a powerful NFL offense without a receiver, dominant number one, and the consequences are finally becoming impossible to ignore. Yes, the Bills reached the AFC Championship game in 2024, but they did so with Allen carrying the entire identity and experience on his shoulders, improvising, extending plays, and creating magical plays out of thin air because he simply didn't have a consistent, high-level outside target. And now, as the 2025 season unfolds, the instability in the passing game is becoming more evident, more visible, and more costly. That's why one name stands out above all other possibilities: Brandon Aiyuk. The situation in San Francisco arrived quietly, but explosively at a tipping point. The deal with Diana Rossini, Aiyuk, and the 49ers is heading toward a separation, a statement that has caused a major stir in the league. It's surprising, considering he signed a 4-year, $120 million contract extension just 15 months ago, but the dynamic has shifted rapidly. Tensions surrounding his ACL injury at the end of last season, the cancellation of the guaranteed money, and his growing frustration with management brought the relationship to a critical point. All indications point to a separation being imminent, and that's where an opportunity arises for Buffalo. Aiyuk didn't play in 2025 due to an ACL injury, but before his injury, he was one of the most dangerous receivers in American football. Elite footwork, precise routes, explosion after the catch, timing, and lethal instincts. In other words, exactly the type of receiver Josh Allen never had during his prime. Meanwhile, the Bills are stuck in a cycle of uncertainty. Keon Coleman suspended for behavioral issues and ineffective on the field. Khalil Shakir limited short-range actions. Gabe Davis returning for a second stint but still inconsistent, and Tyrell Shavers stepping in as a substitute out of necessity, not planning. This offense doesn't need another piece. It needs her, a coach, a player who changes the game's narrative, a player who defenses have the same attitude before the snap. The Bills don't just want Aiyuk. The Bills need Aiyuk, and the timing is perfect. The trade deadline has passed. Aiyuk is out of action for the rest of the season. His contract, his frustration, and the 49ers' internal offers point to a major change in the offseason. Just when the Bills have salary cap space, urgency, and the motivation to reshape the offense around Allen's strengths rather than his survival instincts. Right now, the Bills' passing attack seems predictable at times, frightening at others, and overly reliant on Allen's actions under pressure. Give him Aiyuk, and that changes instantly. Imagine a climb where Aiyuk becomes the undisputed WR1, Keon Coleman solidifies as a true WR2, and Shakir returns to his natural slot position. Suddenly, defenses need to respect every inch of the field. Suddenly, Allen isn't forcing low-percentage passes or holding the ball for too long. Suddenly, Buffalo became dangerous again. The difference between being good and being championship-ready often lies with a single superstar. Brandon Aiyuk is that kind of superstar, and the growing possibility of his departure from San Francisco becomes more real with each update. It's directly linked to the next challenge Buffalo will face, because Josh Allen isn't just fighting a lack of offensive options. He's fighting something far more pressing. The moment Josh Allen hit the floor Thursday night, every Bills fan watching the game felt a chill. It wasn't just another hit. It wasn't just another sack. It was the kind of impact that makes the entire crowd freeze. Because the franchise quarterback, its heart, its identity, its only constant source of offensive stability, was on the floor longer than usual. When Allen finally reacted after a violent clash with Texans edge rusher Will Anderson Jr., shaking his left arm and grimacing, the Bills crowd held their breath in unison. That wasn't just a violent play. It was a warning. From the first quarter, the night turned into one of the most physically grueling games of Josh Allen's career. The Texans exerted relentless pressure, pressuring the opposing quarterback, overwhelming a weakened offensive line, and forcing Allen into survival mode every game. 8 punch sacks. 12 punch sacks don't hit any quarterback. Countless rushing passes. The numbers alone tell the story, but the images revealed an even grimmer reality. Cameras caught Allen repeatedly shaking his right hand, adjusting his shoulder pads, stretching his left arm, and doing everything he could to overcome overcome the obvious discomfort. Even so, he made it onto the field. In every game, in every series, in every impact. After the game, Allen addressed the injury scare with his characteristic calm. "I'm fine. I fell on my left shoulder. I was a little numb. I'm fine." But numbness doesn't mean nothing. Numbness is the body's way of saying, you can't keep doing this. And that's the real problem Buffalo faces now. Anderson's impact twisted Allen in an awkward way, causing him to drop the ball and grab his arm as he rolled on the turf. The physical trainers later confirmed that it was primarily a friction burn from the turf and a nerve shock, not structural damage. But the game exposed a deeper problem. Buffalo's offensive line is slowly falling apart. Christian Benford, Terrell Bernard, Connor McGovern, Spencer Brown. The list of injuries grows every week, forcing the reserves to face pressure situations against elite pass rushers. The result? A quarterback who should be winning games is being forced to endure punishments that no elite quarterback should suffer. Coach Sean McDermott also didn't hide his frustration. "When they hit your quarterback 12 times, I don't like that. It's not a formula for keeping him healthy." He's right. And it's more than a formula problem. It's a crisis that's building in real time. Because it's the truth that few want to say out loud. Josh Allen is doing everything in excess. He's running with the ball. He's prolonging broken plays. He's carrying an offense with few options. He's compensating for a depleted offensive line. And he's doing all this while absorbing career-shortening hits. It's no coincidence that Buffalo's passing attack has become more inconsistent. When a quarterback plays under constant pressure, every pass becomes a risk. Every read becomes rushed. Every drive becomes a battle against the defense and the clock within his own body. The Bills are competitive because Allen refuses to give up. But that kind of resilience only works when the weather around him does its part. And at the moment, the roster isn't doing that. Despite the pain, the pressure, and the fatigue, Allen finished the game with 24 completions in 34 attempts for 253 yards. Yes, he threw 2 interceptions, but both happened under constant pressure and in desperate situations. He played every offensive snap, refusing to leave even when the cameras showed clear signs of discomfort. That's Josh Allen. Strong, tireless, fearless. But even superheroes crumbled when asked to absorb the blows of an entire defense. Now comes the turning point. The bye week in Week 12. A moment of interruption. A chance to breathe. A chance for Allen to recover. A chance for the Bills to regroup and decide whether they will continue to demand that their quarterback survive instead of playing offense. Considering Josh Allen's increasing physical load, the collapse of operational protection, and the glaring need for a true WR1. Do you believe that signing Brandon Aiyuk in 2026 is the missing piece to finally stabilize the Bills' offense? Or does Buffalo face a deeper structural problem that not even a superstar receiver can solve? Leave your opinion here. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I'll be back later to update you with the latest Buffalo Bills news.